Hello friend, how are you doing today? My name is Mary, this is Happily Ever Esch, and today we are doing our Friday reads. I have not been reading a ton in September. Really, I've finished one book for basically the whole first half of the month, but I've been kind of getting back into the swing of things. I'm about ready to finish 2 books, and so I just want to chat about what I've been reading. So I'm going to start with the books I finished, the books that I'm currently finishing up, and then what I plan to read next. So let's just hop on into it. That I finished was a book club pick. I was very on top of it for book club this month. It was a nonfiction book, and I read basically all my nonfiction on audiobook, which always helps me get through books. And that is American Prison: A Reporter's Undercover Journey into the Business of Punishment by Shane Bauer. And this was a really interesting look into American prison systems. It's something that I'm very interested in, our incarceration system, who is incarcerated, how it works, and I think that this was a really good look into it, though it is one specific prison that seemed to probably be kind of the worst of the worst that you could go into, just from learning about history of really poor practices in an already really broken incarceration system. I really appreciate that Bauer takes the time to walk through both his personal experiences, but then in alternating chapters he looks at the history of incarceration in America. I found that absolutely fascinating. I think Shane makes a really compelling case that when things are made for profit, that's what their main goal is going to be, is to make profit, not to rehabilitate people, which I think is what most people would say that prisons are for. This is a really hard read. It's really gut-wrenching at times, but I do think it's a fascinating look, and I think if you're interested in the American prison system and want kind of just an overview of it, but also personal first-hand experiences, there's pictures from his time in this prison, I think this is a really great one to pick up. It ended up being a solid 4-star read for me. I would highly recommend this, and the audiobook was great. All right, and for 2 books that I'm hoping to finish up before this weekend. The first, I don't have the dust jacket, but it's The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. This was my June book of the month club pick, and I'm absolutely adoring this. I didn't read Britt Bennett's first release, The Mothers, but I definitely think that I will after picking this one up. This book follows twin sisters who are both light-skinned black women. They live in a community of light-skinned black people, and this community is in Louisiana, and this book looks at these twins leaving their community, leaving their town, and the twins eventually separate. One of them lives her life as a white woman, passing for a white woman, and the other does not. And so this is kind of just looking at their story. It's looking at identity and what's crafted, what do we craft for other people, what gives us our identity. It's looking at family and family ties and connection and what that looks like. What does it mean to be a part and belong to something? Like, what defines that? The writing, I adore it. It really reminds me of Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng, and there's this like collective narrative that follows through it, and there's almost like this like omniscient kind of storytelling, and I adore that. I'm totally here for it. This definitely is not trying to be that book or copy her writing style, but I do see similarities, and I think it's what makes, I think both of those books are literary fiction in a lot of ways, but also just so compellingly told, and I do think it's this kind of just like narrative style that surrounds both of these books. But I'm absolutely adoring this. I think it's a phenomenally told story. It's just compelling to read. You want to know what's going to happen. You want to follow these characters, but there's also just a lot of social commentary, which I really appreciate in my books, and I really hope to finish it tonight. So we will see, but I'm adoring this. I'm very excited that I picked it up, and I can't wait to finish it and then also get to Britt Bennett's other book, The Mothers, because I think she's a very talented writer. All right, and for the book I'm listening to on audio, and I'm about 75% of the way done with it as well, and that is Blue Monday by Nikki French. Nikki Nisi, I think it's Nikki. This is a start of a detective mystery series and I'm absolutely adoring it. This book follows Frida Klein, who is a psychoanalyst, and through a series of events gets wrapped up in the search for a missing boy named Matthew. And I just cannot wait to continue on with this series. This, in a lot of ways, reminds me of Louise Penny's Three Pines mystery series. And obviously, yes, they're both detective mystery series that kind of follow the same set of characters, but really like this like atmosphere that's being created and this coziness and like really digging into the characters. It's a little more slow. I wouldn't say it's like super fast paced. Yeah, so it's definitely reminding me of elements of Louise Penny's storytelling in that series, even though it's totally unique, it's totally its own thing. Really, it's just the atmosphere and the way the story's crafted that kind of gives me the same vibes, but I can't wait. I probably am going to pick up the next book very soon because I'm going to love the series, I can tell. But yes, I can't wait to kind of wrap this up and then move on with Frida and the cast of characters that we've met in this first book. But I'm really enjoying this. I know April at Getting Hooga With It has spoken super highly, and I'm really glad that she put this on my radar because I'm super enjoying it. Alright, and then for what I plan to pick up in the next weekend and then following week. So I plan to do a buddy read with Annie over at Eat, Drink, and Be Reading. She is just such a sweetheart. I love buddy reading with her. We have buddy read another book together. We buddy read The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead, and it was such a treat to read with her. But this is kind of a very different book than that, and it's State of Wonder by Ann Patchett. I have been talking about wanting to read this book for months, and I think a buddy read is just the way to push me to do it. I've read 2 other Ann Patchetts this year and really truly enjoyed them both. She's on her way to becoming a favorite author of mine, and I can't wait to get to one of her like more backlist books, because the 2 I read, Commonwealth and The Dutch House, are both her 2 newest releases. So this is kind of in her backlist, and all of her books have very different plots. This one, I believe we're following a group of like scientists who go to the Amazon rainforest. It's kind of maybe more of a mystery aspect, like someone goes missing. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm excited to get sucked in. Ann Patchett writes very like about the mundane, about the everyday, but in such like a beautiful way, and I really enjoy her writing. So yes, I'm excited to buddy read this with Annie. And for my audiobook, I plan to pick up Blessed Are the Nuns. It has a subtitle that I can't think of, but I will put a picture here. This is a new release memoir Christian fiction book, and it's all about Christian community, and in particular our author is a woman of faith, a Christian woman whose husband in their marriage renounced his Christian faith and kind of stopped being in Christian community with her, and so it's her journey into like what it looks like to be not single, because she's obviously married, but to be kind of the lone partner who holds on to her faith and to pursue it. And she kind of gets involved with this group of nuns like N-U-N-S in her community, and it's kind of like this look at what Christian community is and what does it mean to be like single in your faith, and is that even a thing? Like, are we ever kind of alone in our Christian faith? So I'm very excited about that one. It's a super duper new release. I bought it on audiobook from my Libro FM subscription. I'll have information about that linked in the description box below, because I think it's phenomenal and I want more people to join, so you can check that out below. But very excited about that memoir and to see kind of what her thoughts are on Christian community. Alright, and then some books that are on my radar, who knows if I'll pick them up. I have Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier. This is a YA, I believe, fantasy series, and that's really all I know about it, but I've heard such good things about Juliette Marillier's writing, and I want to try it. And something about fall, I just get in the mood for some fantasy, so we'll see if this gets read. And then I have a graphic novel out from the library, which will be probably just a book that I gobble up in one sitting this weekend, and that's Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell. Again, it's probably not something I would normally pick up, but I was just wanting some really atmospheric fall storytelling, and this is set in a pumpkin patch, which it doesn't get more fall than that. There's like this fun little map. My husband was looking at it and he's like, why isn't this a real place? So I just think it's gonna be cute and sweet and quick, and I don't know, I've heard good things, so I wanted to give it a go. All right, that's everything I plan on reading. I'd love to know what you plan on reading this weekend. Have you read any of these books? What are your thoughts, feelings, opinions? I'd love to know and chat about it down in the comments below. Please like this video if you enjoyed, and please subscribe if you want to see more bookish content from me. Have a great weekend, guys. Happy fall. Bye.